Yeah, you want to, I can take a stab at it.
Talking about how much TFUEL is being burned.
Right.
Could you talk to people about what that was specifically and why that's significant, and how does that fit into the whole ecosystem?
Right, definitely, yeah. So, right, so this TFUEL from the beginning was designed different than the Ethereum, right? So Ethereum before they have this the latest feature never got burned, but central miner. But from the beginning, we want to design the TFUEL such that it being inflated in one side, but also got consumed on the other side, so that at a certain point it got some equilibrium, so that it will just sustain by itself, right? So we want to see that whether this kind of tokenomics can be successful in a real environment. I've been actually watching how it is going, right? I'm seeing so many smart contract transactions got processed and passed through the blockchain explorer. So and then when I click on the blocks, and I see that each block is containing tens of transactions, and then so many TFU is getting burned, right? This is kind of a validation of our original design, right? So which is kind of got me excited. But in the future, if we got more and more decentralized apps, coming into our ecosystem, right? And then we will have more active users using the blockchain on a daily basis, then we will see the same for not just for one job, but anytime you're looking at blockchain explorer, there should be so many burned, and to a point where maybe even more TFU got burned than that they are inflated, right? So that would be the point where we see the equilibrium, and then I believe that is the point where we see that we have an active ecosystem, and I think that it will not take that long for that day to come.
Okay. Any plans to provide wrapped TFUEL and T-drop THETA?
You mean wrapped THETA or wrap? So wrapped TFUEL is already possible. I think I'm not sure whether you guys have been using the Volt swap recently, or the meter passport recently. So if you're using meter passport to send some TFUEL to the Ethereum network, actually the TFUEL got wrapped, right, and then sent to the Ethereum network. So that's already in place, is functioning. So you're talking about wrapped THETA. So I think that's also a important feature that we are looking into currently. So that after we will in the near future, probably we will have a new release where we will be able to support THETA in a smart contract, right? The way we support THETA in a smart contract is to have the concept of wrapped THETA, where you can treat the wrapped THETA as a TNT20 token, so that you can use your MetaMask wallet to interact with THETA, and then use that to do very interesting things in smart contracts. And even bridging THETA right to the Ethereum network, and use it in.
Yeah, well, in the sense of, I guess a couple different things. More broadly, the toll road, I guess, the project's building on and using THETA is that at the core of it, you do need TFUEL or various TNT20 tokens to operate. Just like on any blockchain, there is a cost of transacting, and pretty straightforward. If there's more usage, it leads to more token demand and brings more value to the ecosystem. If you mean specifically on the bridging meter passport, there is also a direct similar benefit in that it costs TFUEL to launch a smart contract. If there's interactions back and forth between chains and over this bridge, that does burn TFUEL by using that, so that creates some demand for it. But more broadly, it also just, you're bringing usefulness on both sides of it. So if you're bringing, say, there's a USDC stablecoin bridged over, we need to add a lot more liquidity to it, which we're talking to folks about to do so. But the more USDC you can bridge over to THETA and have a viable stablecoin for our DEXs, or for use in, say, a blockchain game on THETA, then that adds more usefulness to the ecosystem overall. And vice versa too. If THETA, TFUEL, various TNT20 tokens were able to be moved over and used on a very popular DeFi app on Ethereum, it makes those tokens more valuable too. There's more reason to hold it if, instead of having to sell it, you could throw it in the lending protocol and borrow against it. Just like you probably have seen over the last few years, ETH being able to be locked up in DeFi protocols pretty directly translates into value for ETH. So yeah, in a lot of different ways, it's going to create more usage and it's going to create more reason to own the tokens.
It's like Andrew Lunde's from SAP, his blog posts about this whole microtransaction thing.
Exactly.
So do you want to explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I didn't foresee that coming when we started that designing the micro payment protocol, because back then our use case is kind of focus on the video application, right? We're thinking about if you share a video and then you should get paid in TFUEL, then how do you split this payment between different parties sharing the video stream, right? But Andrew, he came up with this idea whether we can use this protocol in a enterprise environment. For example, possible to have some kind of data subscription services where you use this micropayment to pay the data fee based on the usage, right? Yeah, things like that. And then, so those are the use cases extending the original design, the original target of the design. And then we're really glad that like developer like Andrew was able to think outside the box and then bring kind of new life to this tool. Right? So going back to THETA Video API, I think we will be able to see more and more such examples in the coming years.
So if I understand the compensation correctly for like a YouTube, the user has to watch the whole thing before they get paid. At least that's what I was told. If I'm speaking out of turn, forgive my ignorance. But it sounds like they'll be able to have fractional payment and compensation based on actual user use.
Yeah, that's the power of a smart contract when it combined with the THETA Video API, right? So with the proper technology, kind of tracking plus smart contract, that will become a reality, at some point.
And I think that will unlock a number of different DApps, right, that we haven't even necessarily envisioned today, right? And certainly, the again, going back to the original point of the ecosystem, it's about the overarching developer community out there and new projects that we're engaging with. And a lot of these new projects, in fact, Jay and I were just on a call yesterday with a very promising project. We're super excited to be collaborating with them. And we're talking about incorporating not just the video infrastructure, THETA Video API, to power the entire backend, because they've had experience in their past lives building it right on CDNs, and it was a complete nightmare. Not just the cost side, but the management, the scaling, and all the other stuff that comes with that. Where with TVA, with THETA Video API, we're basically handling all that right on their behalf in a decentralized way, very powerful way. But we're also talking to the project about utilizing our blockchain infrastructure and smart contracts and building TNT20 tokens, right, and building smart contracts. So this concept earlier we talked about the auto splits, where there are multiple stakeholders in this value chain, where that source can then be split immediately back. All those are different elements of what Jay is talking about, which serves in the long run, right, to increase the utility and the activity, right on our chain.
Yeah.
So you've go ahead. I'm sorry, Wes.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. It's been more and more of a focus to, whether it's the hackathon or through other ecosystem investments we're starting to make, where there's only so much as THETA Labs and as a first party we can and should be doing. Now I think that the developers are starting to build out these dApps. We're also looking to put the funds to use that you have, and it's like a force multiplier for us to be investing in some of these companies that are looking to use this technology and adopt THETA. And it's not hypothetical. Some of these we're in talks of doing right now and are in the process of using THETA tech. So that's the point we're at, where it's not so much us and what we can put out, because there's only so much we can do as one engineering team. It's about funding the other teams that are starting to do this with THETA. And when we talk about the THETA ecosystem and the white paper and the new roadmap coming up, that's a lot of what's going to be at the heart of this, is expanding far beyond just THETA Labs.